There we go. Welcome everyone then to game number 1 in the series DauT versus the Viper. DauT sent the villager out right away to get the walls up over here. Meanwhile, the Viper sent the villager so far away to get the walls up over here. And overall, it's gonna be favoring the Viper for sure. This wall out is giving the yellow player a lot of extra surface area to work with. Besides that though, things are going to be pretty similar as we have the same amount of resources for both these guys. Except for wood. Wood's going to be shared of course, but it's still going to be plenty for both players as well. Hot? It's freezing here today. Are you trying to make me wish I was there, man? Because I do now. Here it's not quite as hot as it was some of the previous days. It's 32 degrees only. But yeah, it's still kind of unfortunate. Guys, predictions are open right now. And for the next 4 minutes and a half, you have the possibility of using the channel points to bet on who you think is going to win game number 1. And let's switch colors once again. We're going to have the Viper in the red. We're going to switch, we're actually going to remove the GL prefix over here from both these guys too. And everything's good, right? Yes, sir. Let's go. -3 degrees Celsius. I melt in anything hotter than 25. So this is better. Sun time until the electricity blacks out. Right. So for sure. For sure. I'm also on the same boat. Well, maybe not so much. I can withstand higher temperatures, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know, if it's too cold, you just put a few extra layers of clothes and you're fine. If it's too hot, what do? Skin yourself? You get naked and it's worse. You skin yourself and it's worse. It's like, it just keeps on getting closer and closer to your core anyway. But that's enough of me complaining about temperatures. Let's take a look at the players, the civilizations, and the map generation for each. Starting with DauT. Playing with Berbers means that the blue player is gonna have first off 15 and 20% cheaper stable unit production in the Castle and Imperial Ages. Besides that, we also see for DauTcito 10% faster moving villagers. For the team bonus, they also get access to Genie Tours and the Viper playing with Turks. It's got a very strong civilization for a map like this. Turks will get 20% faster working gold miners. As well as 1 extra Pierce armor on Scoutline units. He gets also light cavalry and Hussar upgrades for free. Chemistry for free. A 50% discount on gunpowder upgrades and 25% extra HP on gunpowder units. I'm gonna see for the team bonus 25% faster training gunpowder units as well. And that's going to be about it for the Turks. So yeah, just here for DauT. The Viper. The Viper's going up on 22 pop over here. A little bit higher compared to DauT. I can't imagine any of these players actually getting away with any sort of early damage. So most likely we're gonna get both players go for the Castle Age. And it's Black Forest, right? What do you expect to see? Just post in before the players actually start engaging? Yeah. It's that time of the year when Noah says he is so hot. Well, we freeze for 90% of the day. I would take it, by the way. I would take the 90% of cold times versus the melting temperature. And to be fair though, this is not just that time of the year, because during winter we had a 33 degree day, I think. So it's year round. Winter here is kind of a joke. Lasts for 2 weeks or so. And the coldest it gets is -1, if you're lucky. Otherwise, it's probably just like 3, 4 perhaps. With 20+ days. Drink a cold beer? Go to the beach maybe? Oh, we don't have any beach. We don't have any beaches here, where I live. Do not drink any beer, but instead I'm going to be a hypocrite and have some piping hot tea. How about that? It's been brewing for 5 minutes already, so let me remove the tea. Perfect. Hey, Lord Enviatus. Hi, welcome. Guys, only 20 seconds left for the predictions. By the time you hear this, that's going to be even less. Option 1, I would imagine, is probably DauT. Option 2, most likely the Viper, right? If predictions follow the colors, otherwise you're gonna have to read, but... Yes, Castle is on the way for the Viper and DauT. DauT is not going up just yet. He's trying to put pressure over here. He's got the tower up. The Viper's reaction is swift and appropriate. He gets his own counter tower up, so he prevents DauT from breaching through, and this puts DauT in a very awkward spot. The Viper, obviously, once he gets to the castle age, is going to be in a much better position, able to go for extra TCs, a stronger economy, in a much earlier imp time compared to what DauT's going to be able to get. And the blue player is not looking great, guys. He's got less than half what he needs to go up to the castle age. And the Viper, well, is going to be there in a moment, and we'll see extra TCs come up for him. He is going for stone as well, so this will be most likely not a 4, potentially even 5 DC full boom from the Viper. And I would imagine that's going to transition eventually into cavalry archers, bombard cannons, that kind of stuff once we get to the Imperial age. But for the time being, just gonna need to play for the economy. And DauT, they're still trying to break through over here, struggling. The Viper's reaction, he goes for his siege workshop. I guess there's no hurry. If he can clean this up, then he can prevent DauT from coming in, right? And DauT's given up on this. He's got just towers he's got just archers populating the tower. So he's going for stone walls behind here. And the Viper is going to end up spending a lot of resources over here for something he doesn't really need to protect himself against anymore. Basically, the moment DauT realized the Viper got to the castle age, he kind of gave up on the push idea. So, resources maybe the Viper didn't need to spend, but he will still be the first one to add additional TCs, and we have the second one on the back. And because he's been collecting stone, so long as he collects a little bit of extra wood, he should be in a position to go for a 40C, a 30C, a 40C, potentially more as well. T climatizes you apparently? Is that climatizes? What is the difference between that and acclimate? Acclimate? I'm really sure if I'm saying that right. Oh man, the Viper, come on. Well done. Yeah, and DauT gets pushed away. Well done. So where's the 30C? He's got the resources. Not quite. Acclimate. Yes. Difference is AC or not. No 30C coming up for the Viper at all. It seems like he's gonna go for a castle. What's going on? So DauT plays for the fuel age. He tries to break through. He fails to do so. It takes so long to get to the fuel age, and he's struggling over here. When usually you see on Black Forest players just go full economy, fast castling for that. And now the Viper, he's gotten to the castle age so much earlier. He goes for the second TC, and then he goes for a castle. And no extra TCs over here. It's just gonna play for Janissary push. Interesting. Climatize doesn't regulate your body to the climate. Sounds the same. Right. Okay, okay. There we go. Where's the Viper going for the castle? It's gotta be 4, right? So that he can breach through. Yes. He's in the villages already, so once he comes here, there's a few ways he can go about this. Red player can go for the castle behind the walls over here in front of the siege workshop. Alternatively, he can go for the castle forward over here as well, because he's got the mangonel and he can potentially protect the castle foundation with it. But it'll be a little bit risky because of the archers from DauT. So where's the tower coming up? Where's the castle coming up, rather? It seems like it's going to be behind the walls. Yes! As DauT gets to the castle age. No! The reaction from the Viper is extremely quick. DauT cannot get in. The Viper's villager was about to open the gate and let DauT's knights out. But in the end, DauT gets still kind of trapped back into his base, and the Viper is getting the castle up over here. Still no 30C, but we will see Janissaries. We will see still siege coming out from the Viper. Interesting. That's coming up for DauT right now as well. Yes, Bloodlines on the way for the blue player. And the Viper, he's finally getting the third TC up. DauT, as soon as he got to the castle age, went for the second TC. He's going for the third TC out. And the Viper kind of missed on his chance of getting a villager lead. Now it's going to be about the same for both. And because DauT was actually the second player to get to the castle age, his economy should be a little bit stronger, right? He did go up with a higher worker count. So if we take a look at gather economy time, it is favoring DauT by about half an hour. So the Viper's got Janissaries on the way. He's got the Mongol over there. And while DauT, he's getting the castle lap. He's just finished researching bloodlines, so he could potentially go for camel archers. And now the Viper realizes about the castle from DauT over there. He's gonna try to find a different angle. He's got the Mongol still coming forward, and DauT's got just knights on the way. More archers. A villager goes down from DauT too. So Viper's the first one to really put pressure. More knights. It's 15% cheaper for DauT right now. I think he's got one stable though. Yeah, he's got just the one stable. The Viper keeps on putting pressure, and take a look at this though. DauT's roaming around. That's a good attack run, but it's not strong enough. Now these Janissaries might end up getting taken down as the Mongol's going down. That's a good shot against the archers, but still the Mongol crumbles. Janissary crumbles over there, and in the end it's going to be 3 losses for DauT. 2 losses for the Viper. I think it might have been a little bit more cost effective for DauT anyway. But that'll be about it. And now the Viper's gonna keep on putting pressure up on DauT. He's already shown that he can push the Viper away. He's got more knights coming over here, and the Viper's going to respect that. Camel Archer's on the way now for DauT as well. He's kept the archers alive too. Yeah, and the Viper's paying attention 100% of the time to the Janissaries. He must. Otherwise, he runs the risk of getting completely surrounded over here as we see the knights coming over. The camel archers over there as well. Gonna be targeting the Janissaries one more time. The Janissaries are looking strong in the end. That is almost 2 Janissaries going down. 2 actually did go down. That is almost 3 Janissaries going down. And the Viper's kind of back to square one. When he got pushed back last time around, he came forward once again with 4 Janissaries. Now he's got 5, so it's technically looking a little bit better for him. But many of these are kind of low HP, so if DauT masses a good amount of units once again, gets this round going one more time, the Viper's going to end up taking a few extra losses over here. 4 TCs out for DauT, by the way. At this point in time, nobody's really getting ahead too much. Working count, only 3 higher for DauT. Beautiful. My parents are pushing DauT away from here. Doesn't really matter. DauT's got extra wood economy on the back. He kind of lost access to 2 lumber camps over here, so that's going to be a few hundred resources for DauT. But still, the higher worker economy, or actually the higher gather economy time that he's gotten so far, should allow for DauT to compensate for that for the most part. Imperial is on the way now for the Viper to end out. Not so much. He's been prioritizing economy production for the most part, even if he's not really gotten too far ahead. So far, the Vipers managed to get a better KD with 17 to 10 KD ratio so far in DauT. That's been the player to lose the most villagers. Not by a huge margin though. Only 1 extra villager killed on the Viper over here. And yeah, thanks so much for the follows, guys. Everyone, once again, who's coming into the stream for the first time. I hope you're having a good time. And we have 2 more sets today, so this is just the very beginning of the second half of the stream. So we've been going for 5 hours already in 20 minutes. And, you know, after this series, of course, we're gonna have even more. as well, with Shadow versus Hera coming out for the 4th series of the day. Viper can't even push around without Onager, so this is kinda it for the next 10 minutes. Yeah, until he gets there. And that's gonna be on his way to the Imperial Age very soon. I guess the Viper could make a play for trebuchets and bombard cannons with free chemistry. Turrets can go for BBC right away, and with the trebuchets as well, should be in a position to take this castle down. Meanwhile, DauT, he's going up to the Imperial Age, yes, but he's behind by 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Or so. .21 seconds. 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Still good pressure from the Viper, mind you. He's managed to get a scary amount of Janissaries over here, and this is more than enough. Ding down Knights, no problem. So DauT, wise as he is, has made the transition to Camel Archers, and he's got Husbandry coming out right now, so extra mobility. Extra castle on the way. That's going to be the 3rd castle if DauT ever goes for Caspa. That'll make the castle production over here almost as strong as if he had 4. But here comes DauT. He's got ballistics already, and he's going after the Janissaries. The Viper unit control is really good, and he gets the first bombard cannon coming out over here, and now the Janissaries are over there. The Camel Archers gotta be careful. Even if they get to the base of the castle over here, that's a lot of Janissaries to fight point blank range, where they are close to 100% accurate. And castles here, so DauT's castles, they will work 25% faster. He should be able to keep on going for more units. And so far, so good. That's going to be in the Imperial Age very soon, and the score is going to go in favor of the Bull player, while for the time being, the Viper's doing a good job. Going for elite Janissaries. He's got 2 bombard cannons, and DauT, he's being patient over here until he gets enough units, and ideally enough to go back and push the Viper away, who's trying to go for a forward castle as well. So DauT's got to pick his timing properly here. Gets to the Imperial Age. Castles on the fire from 3 bombard cannons and the trebuchet. And DauT doesn't really have too much space to keep on working with, so here he goes. He's going for Bracer, going for chemistry, trying to get more maneuvering space over here, but then a few of the foundations over there, or a few of the buildings over there. Now he's coming in with the bombard cannons over there. The Viper should be able to get some good damage done. However, the Janissaries over here are still being targeted by DauT's cavalry archers, so the Camel Archers rather. That seems like he will get a good amount of Janissaries down, but not anywhere near enough. Viper completely obliterates DauT's military for the most part, and even if the Bull player is able to deny or delay this castle, that is so close. And that villager, with 2 HP left, has enough to finish this castle single-handedly, but the Viper sends a few extra villagers anyway. And this momentum from the red player is incredible, as DauT doesn't really have the military he needs to keep on defending against this. Even if he looked very strong before with the cavalry archers, it was not enough. And it seems like it's going to be probably about it. That's going for yet another castle on the left-hand side, which will bring his castle count up to 3 once again. But the Viper, his momentum with so much siege, is not stopped anytime soon. He steals the relic as well. And this has been such a great performance for the Viper so far. Game number 1, even if it's Black Forest, seems like it's not going to be a particularly long game though, considering the map overall. With the TC going down, DauT's economy gets exposed, the Viper does end up getting a bunch of villages down, and it's only a matter of time for the Viper to keep on pushing against the rest of the fortifications. And with only 3 castles left, DauT shouldn't be able to survive for much longer against the huge amount of siege that is coming forward from the Viper. Yeah, that needed time, but the Viper was not going to give it to him. Nice. Fighting at max range is probably the best that DauT can do when hoping to get a better engagement over here, as he kind of prevents the Janissaries from landing too many shots, right? But it's still not going to be sufficient. As DauT calls a GG 35 minutes into the game. The Viper takes the first game, gets the lead in the series. Thus, will put himself at a lead. So let's go and take a look at the achievements. For military, a stronger KD for the Viper. In the end, it's going to approach about 7 to 3 KD ratio. Very close to it. For economy, a stronger economy for DauT as well. Does it matter? It does not matter because the KD was so good for the Viper. The stronger economy over here for DauT did not compensate for all the extra units that he ended up losing. For society, we also see a higher villager max count, 121 villagers for DauT. For the max villager count he had this game, and he ended up losing about 29 villagers throughout the game, while the Viper ended up losing only 6. So well done. Let's go back and wait for game number 2. Kind of on the flip side. Alright. And what do we get from the very beginning? Wow, the Viper just goes for 3 boars at a time, and DauT is completely unable to stop this. Well done from the Viper. He could end up getting all 4 boars over here, actually. This is huge already from the get-go. The Viper's getting a massive lead. And DauT's got just sheep to work with. Don't really have enough time to talk about the civilizations because of how hectic the game is from the get-go. But now I think it should stabilize, right? Yes, DauT's going after the boar. Oh, he's going forward though with these villagers. Okay, he's gonna douche. He's gonna douche. The Persians make sense for this kind of strategy. It's not what I was necessarily expecting, but it is douche time. So it seems like the Viper, for as good he got his economy going with all the boars over here, will end up just getting pushed away from here in the end, and won't be able to collect the boar in the end. Yes. Hey, Negragos. All good? Everything's going alright over here. I hope you're having a good time. Meanwhile, the term Vikings is 500 years or so younger than what we refer to as Vikings. Is that so? I had no idea. To AFK for a long moment there. Could you whisper me the result of the last series? Oh, okay. Predictions are still on, guys, for about 2 minutes and 30 minutes or so. So you have a little bit of extra time still to get your predictions on who you think is going to win game number 2. Using your channel points. And DauT's getting another villager time? Yes. He needs to keep the villagers garrisoned over here to take the TC down, but eventually he should be able to win the Viper. Well, the Viper is going back. He's chilling. He's going up to the fuel H. He's going to try to repair the TC over here. This is very hard to do. This is extremely hard to do. The Viper cannot repair the TC on time. This is he's going down. He's not getting to the fuel H at all. He does not have anywhere near enough wood whatsoever. He's trying to keep this up, but it's not happening. So that will take the TC down before the Viper gets to the fuel H. And because Viper spends so many resources trying to repair the TC, he shouldn't really have the resources to go for another one. Viper needs to put everyone wood. He has. It's just that not everyone is around the lumber camp. Yeah, there we go. And here's the scout from DauT as well. He can't really do enough damage though. So the Viper seems like he's managing this so much better. And take a look at that. That's going after the TC with villagers, as well as keeping the TC garrisoned over there as well. And the Viper's so close, 90% of the way to the fuel H over here. It seems like the Viper's gonna be able to make it though. 95%, 6, 7%. And the fuel H is there at the exact moment the TC goes down. And how timely is that? Both players just laughing it up. If DauT had gone for that just a little bit earlier, he would have been able to prevent the Viper from getting to the fuel H. Now, just think for a moment, what does the fuel H give to the Viper really? If he goes for a tower, he cannot afford to go for a TC. He does not have a barracks, so he cannot go for any production buildings. DauT is alright. It would have been great for DauT if he had gotten the TC down before the Viper had gotten to the fuel H, because there would have been a lot of wasted TC time. But in the end, the Viper is still in a very precarious position, and this is just a ridiculous game. What are we witnessing right now? What is this? Come on. Viper cannot even collect from the sheep. Viper has no mail, yes. He's got the resource to go for the mail, but he needs a resource to go for a TC instead, and DauT's push over here is extremely strong. So, oh lord, the Viper is going for a... What was he talking about, by the way? I say that he cannot even go for production buildings. He's playing commercial, so he doesn't get building requirements, sorry. So he does manage to get an archer range up over here. That is good for the Viper. But it's going to be good enough. He's got no gold. He's gonna start collecting some gold from somewhere. Where? Where's he getting gold from? Oh, there we go. So he can go for archers perhaps, but DauT should be in a much better position. So far, as DauT can keep the TC working, he should be in a much better spot. Good unit control for the Viper over here, but this is just such a clown game. What a fiesta of a match. Yeah. He's not going for the TC, just went for the archer range over here, and I guess he could go for a tower perhaps for defense, but he wouldn't be able to go for the DC ever unless he was able to start collecting some stones. So in the end, the Viper pushes DauT away. DauT is already 9 workers ahead compared to the Viper. If DauT had gotten the DC down before the Viper had gotten to the fuel H, wouldn't be surprised if the Viper would have called a GG right there. Because take a look at this. If DauT is able to go up to the fuel H, he will still be ahead by about 4 villagers or so. And if the Viper hadn't gotten to the fuel H, he wouldn't have been able to go for this. He wouldn't have been able to do much of anything. Nice quick wall attempt over there from the Viper. In the end, he pushes DauT away, kind of bullies him away from the deer. And the TC's coming up for the Viper. After pushing DauT out, he goes for the TC, and now he'll be able to finally get the sheep underneath the TC and keep on working towards economy. DauT so far, he's extended his lead to 12 extra villages compared to the Viper. Given the amount of food workers DauT's got to work with right now, he should be on his way to the fuel H very soon. And the Viper is still very, very much so on the back foot. That is a beautiful clip. Turn it, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. Can DauT just vilify that DC? No, because of the archers. I mean, he can try, but so long as the Viper has good unit control, he should be able to take more villages down from DauT than the other way around, I think. DauT may be able to bully the TC over there, or to bully the builders and try and prevent the TC from coming up, but he would end up losing a few villagers, and he risks kind of losing the villager lead, I guess. If you got any better ideas for a clip title, I can change it. Oh, no, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful title. Nice villager difference. Yes. 12 extra villagers for DauT, and he's halfway to the fuel H, so by the time he gets there, he'll still be on at the very least 9 extra villages, I'm sure. Nice defense for DauT. Oh, the Viper's unit control is not the best though. He cannot really afford to lose these units. His economy is so small that it hurts so much. The Douche? Yes, sir! And I would very much encourage you to go back and watch the whole game because it was quite something. Or at the very least, take a look at the clip above from Turnip. The Defensive tower is coming up for DauT. He's been collecting stones, so he should be fine. And the Viper is going to be kind of perma behind in work count over here. As a matter of fact, right now he doesn't even have enough food workers to keep the production going. So he's just on 20 villages and cannot even keep on queuing any more units. Does manage to get some villages down from DauT. That's still 9 workers ahead though compared to the Viper. So I would say it doesn't matter too much. Viper has better eco KD. He must be winning. If you are to drop me here, completely blind into this game at this point in time, and I have no idea what happened before, I say, well, yeah, the Viper's got a good amount of military. Both players are in the fieldage. It's fine, but now DauT's got so much momentum. Let's take a look at the gather economy time. Obviously, without access to any stats, right? Just taking a look at like the minimap. But yeah, interestingly enough, DauT's gather economy time is a little bit lower compared to the Vipers, despite the fact that the red player was in a much lower amount of workers. Which just goes to show how taxing your economy douching actually is. So it's not like DauT was 100% taking advantage of the extra workers at all times. Yeah, right now DauT's struggling to balance his economy. He's got only one villager on food. The Viper's balanced his economy so that he can finally keep production going from the TC as well. So if this situation continues for very long, that's eventually going to get caught up for villagers as well. But so far, definitely still in the driver's seat, especially with the towers over here. He's got the potential to deny so much. The Viper, as he's not really going for any stone right now, cannot really fight DauT's trash enough over here, and if the blue player keeps on going for more towers, he might end up pushing the Viper away from resources. Market on the way for DauT. Try and balance his economy, he needs it. He definitely needs it. 500 stone in the village. Not really going to get you too far, unless you're going for full towers, but he doesn't even have the wood to go for any extra towers, so yeah, he sells some of it, buys some food, keeps the villager production going, and 5 extra villagers compared to the Viper still. Gather economy time. Damn, still very close. At the very least, DauT was able to surpass the Viper now, but it's so damn close. Skirmish is on the way now for the blue player too. There we are. And the game stabilized. Nobody's under too much pressure anymore. DauT managed to hold on to his villager lead. With the towers already up, he protects his economy. He's got plenty of towers around the map. And it seems as if he's gonna be on his way to the castle age sometime soon, while the Viper, on the other hand, still kind of trying to juggle his economy just to, you know, to save the resources to potentially go up. Right now, he's got enough to go for villagers and save some food, yes. He's been going for archers quite a bit as well, so a lot of resources gone into military production in DauT. Not so much. He's got some archers, he's got skirmishers over here. For the most part, it's going to be playing defensive, and that should allow him to go up a little bit sooner. You take a look at that. Something I did not mention for the civilizations, because there was no time to talk about the saves almost, is the DauT civilization gets 10, 15, and 30% faster working TCs in the field, castle, and Imperial. So, on even ground, assuming the bold players keep the TCs working 100% of the time in the field age, for each 10 villagers the Viper goes for, DauT gets an extra villager at the same time. He needs to pay for the extra bill, of course, but if you are able to do so, you should be able to pull a little bit of a stronger lead. So right now, for instance, DauT's managed to get a 6 villager lead against the Viper, up from 5 not too long ago. It also means you should be able to go up to the castle age a little bit faster than the Viper. Well, the Viper's food economy is very strong, so he's catching up right now compared to DauT, and DauT using the market will still be able to click out to the castle age faster, but the Viper shouldn't really be lagging too far behind. There we are, castle age is on the way for DauT. It takes less time for him. 10% less time, and for the Viper on the other hand, he's got almost enough resources to click out to the castle age. What I'm really curious is what will DauT do once he gets up. With Persians, the team bonus make it so the Knight line units get 2 bonus damage against archer type units for Persians. So going for Knight seems like a no-brainer for DauT. And the Viper? Well, the Viper's been going for archers for the most part, and he is significantly later to the castle age for over a minute. So that should be enough for DauT to get a few Knights out. He needs to get the stable up, and he's going for 1 stable on the left-hand side, which is great. He's going for extra farms too to kind of bolster his food economy a little bit. Viper lost a lot of archers to that tower. The Viper's unit control this game has not been quite as good as in some of the games in the past. So yes, we see some of the archers going down over here. Earlier, we saw some of the archers go down to the TC as well. DauT's roaming around, so he's gonna try to make a play for crossbows and knights, which will be interesting. And you know what? The Viper might not be able to get the house up over here on time. Let's see if he's paying attention. He is not. So here come the archers, and that's a villager going down from the Viper. DauT has got the crossman upgrade on the way right away. We have no knights. We have Viking arrow coming up instead, and he's just trying to be patient until he gets the upgrades before taking the engagement against the Viper. And the Viper knows this for sure. There we go, and the Viper walks away, gets the walls up over here, and prevents DauT from doing any damage. That was really well played from the Viper. And now, he just gotta wait until he gets the crossman upgrade, and Viking arrow upgrades himself. And then it's going to come down to micro over here, something that DauT, I imagine, will not feel too confident about, you know, against the Viper. However, he's got knights coming up, and I think that makes a huge difference. Because of the 2 bonus damage Knightline units from Persians get against archer type units, he not only gets a meat shield, but a meat shield that if he closes the gap, completely obliterates Viper's army. So let's take a look. Let's start coming over to the right hand side though. Second TC was coming out for the Viper over there. It's going to end up losing 2 villagers so far. Make that 3 villagers. Yes, sir. Potentially 4 villagers going down. And as the Viper brings additional villagers over here, he gets pushed away. And where are the rest of the crossbows from DauT? If he brings all the crossbows over here plus the knights, he is in a better spot. He's got 14 crossbows. Viper's only on 11, but in the end, the red player ends up pushing him away. Viper's still definitely on the back foot, mind you. Both population for economy and for military look better for DauT. There we go. Still no extra knights, instead he gets a siege workshop, and we'll see mangonels come out very soon. A strat from DauT that works very, very nicely for him, that wouldn't really work if the Viper was going for it himself. So the Viper is going for a defensive siege workshop. Does he know about the siege coming up from DauT? Nope. Just going for a siege workshop to defend against the crossbows, but it's going to come in quite handy against the mangonel. This is something that wouldn't really work for the Viper because DauT's TCs having twice the HP. Go. Good pressure from DauT. Ideally, he would want to get ballistics as well, but then ideally, his economy would be strong enough for him to actually be able to go for that. And we can idealize as much as we want, but reality is DauT's got what he's got. And it seems to me like it's strong enough anyway, though. If he gets another mangonel, he's got another mangonel on the way. He should be able to take the TC down. That's going to leave the Viper on 1 TC and unable to catch up. Not only because he's gonna be back to 1 TC compared to DauT's 1 TC, but also DauT's going for a second TC himself. Push. I think he was trying to push some, yeah, he was just trying to push the units up over here from the Viper. Let's see if DauT's paying attention. He is. Well done. And he's going back towards the tower. Towards safety. Monks over here from the Viper and DauT. That's going after the Manual over there. He's going to end up taking this one down, but what does he do to defend against the Converted Knight? And is he going to get the Manual down? Actually, he cannot get the Manual down. Viper repairs this one. And now, the Viper's got 2 Converted Knights. That was not great from DauT. He cannot keep on putting pressure over here because the Converted Manuals will take... The Converted Knights, sorry, will take the Manual down. Yeah, and DauT's kind of on the back foot now because of it. That was not good. That was not good. He hesitated, and then he decided to go for it. It was basically guaranteed conversions for the Viper. Same defense from the Viper. Absolutely, and he's catching up. In worker count, despite the fact that we have 2 TCs for both players, now there's a 3rd TC coming out for DauT too. How does the Viper stabilize in a game like this? 3rd TC is on the way for the red player now as well, so they'll be both on 3 TCs. And taking a look at gather economy time, it's looking better for DauT, mind you, by about an hour and a half. So that does amount to something. Obviously, overall KD favors the Viper. Eco KD favors the Viper too. But DauT's extra gather economy time should amount to something, and so far, what has that been for? Extra farms, by the looks of it. He's got extra food workers. More infrastructure, by the looks of it. He's got more buildings compared to the Viper, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Should be able to keep on pushing as well. He still retains both these manuals up. And now that he's got some monks out, should be able to fight the Viper off. Even if the Viper ends up getting some conversions, that's gonna have a chance of getting the conversions back. That was not going forward yet though. There we are. Beautiful snipe from DauT. Some of the extra gather economy time as well does go in ways of villager production. Remember, faster working TCs, he's gonna keep on pulling ahead the villager count anyway, but he needs to pay for everything. Nice mango shot over there from DauT, pushing the mantle down from the Viper. Now he's going after the Scorpions. Gotta be careful as the Viper garrisons the TC. Looks like DauT needs ballistics. He needs ballistics for the mangonels, man. Up in the north. Yeah. Exactly, up in the north. A villager goes down for the Viper. He's got some crosses over here. Shouldn't really be going the way of the Viper, given that many of these are very low HP and DauT's got significantly more. So he brings some Scorpions into the mix, and now that changes game. That changes the. Oh my lord, DauT is taking so much damage over here. This certainly changes things up. Gets pushed back. Could see some villagers go down over here, DauT. If he turns around to fight, he loses everything, so he's trading for some villagers over here, but in the end he's gonna walk away. Well done. And once again, he keeps on putting pressure though against the TC, and eventually this one's going down. Because the Viper already went for a 4 TC, losing this one is not going to be the worst thing for him. It's already gonna be on 3 anyway, after this one goes down, if it does go down. But it doesn't seem like that's even going to be the case with Viper's defense over here. Fantastic mangonel control. He's been able to prevent DauT from taking the TC down. Instead, the Bull player seems to be playing one more time for the next stage. Significantly earlier, we'll see he's got 30 food workers. 3 TCs compared to 4. His economy was looking significantly stronger just a minute ago before he queued the extra knights. He's got 7 knights queued up right now. If he cancels many of those, should be significantly closer to potentially going after the Imperial, and that could be really rough for the Viper. Whoever gets to the Imperial here first is gonna get a huge lead. DauT, by getting access to bombard cannons, potentially chemistry, right? Bombard cannons. Viper, of course. Just by getting access to stronger siege, scorpions. Potentially the arbalesters too. Although it doesn't seem like the Viper's gonna be committed to archers too much necessarily. Here we are. Good mango shot though from that. A lot of gold for the Viper. If he uses the market, he should be on his way up and DauT. He seemed just so much stronger before, but instead he's decided to go for Knight instead. This could be really good, because the Viper, spending all the resources he is, trying to go up to the Imperial Age, means that he is choosing not to go for military units instead, and now DauT's push is going to be too strong for the Viper to hold on against. Even if all 3 conversions land over here against a blue player, that would still put DauT in a much better position. He will still have about 8 knights against only 3 converted knights. And this is the push that I was talking about. That's going for a lot. The TC's going down for sure. He's got 11 knights over there. He's got to be careful. There's light cavalry over here coming over from the Viper, trying to get the Mongol down. It's unlikely to result in a loss for DauT as he keeps on roaming around and the Viper gets a defensive castle up. There is still a lot of potential damage over here from DauT, and he gets some monk on the left hand side. Prompts the Viper to garrison the TC. And where are the rest of the knights? Which is kind of falling flat a little bit though. It seems like he's gonna go up in the north and try to take the TC down over there instead. And he should be on his way to the Imperial Age very soon. And the Viper's in the back foot still. Picked up to the Imperial Age so much earlier, but has no defenses against DauT push at all. Yeah, that is not that far behind. But he needs to stop queuing units. Go for the camels after clicking up to the Imperial Age, man. He might not have realized the Viper's on his way up. Maybe he didn't see the score drop. With 2 castles over here, Viper's Imperial Age is all of a sudden significantly stronger. With Bracer, those castles are going to protect so much more. Potentially chemistry. They're going to be so much stronger as well. And while DauT finally manages to come up in the north with the Rams, with the Mangonels, the Viper manages to get the castle up over here, and that is a beautiful castle location. If it weren't because of this castle, the Viper was almost guaranteed to lose the TC over here, and that is a lot of villagers that he, to be honest, couldn't even garrison inside the TC because he got more than 15, so many of those were going to go down. Then the TC was going to go down, and then the rest were going to get destroyed as well, so that's a fantastic castle location for the Viper. Meanwhile, DauT's going to the Imperial Age, and he's going for the first castle in the Viper. Viper's got a trebuchet already on the way. Does he know about the castle from DauT? Of course he does. This has definitely been, I would say, a much bigger struggle for DauT than I think a lot of people would have expected, considering how the beginning of the game went. But the Viper's done a beautiful job. He's done a masterful job at keeping up with the game and catching up. Now DauT, well, still about 50 seconds away from the Imperial Age, but he's already under siege by a tower. Still has more military units, but he's got to be careful. He cannot take the engagements underneath the castle over there. But he loses the military lead. He needs to wait until he gets to the Imperial Age. He can actually get the upgrades up. Nice picks over here from DauT though. It's a lot of exposed villagers from the Viper. Notice how he's trying to shuffle through the villagers just to try and protect everyone at the same time. Cannot do it, of course. DauT so far 24 eco kills. 9 eco deaths. Gets to the Imperial Age and goes for heavy camera right away. No trebuchets coming up for DauT whatsoever, so this castle is going down for sure. And then on the right hand side, even with the TC fully garrisoned over here though, DauT gets a much better engagement with a huge amount of camels. Going after the TC is not a good idea with just camels. So he goes back, tries to prevent the villagers from going down underneath the castle here, and tries to sustain the castle a little bit more. Meanwhile, the Viper, he was sending some ballista elephants around the map, managed to find some exposed villagers from DauT, but couldn't do too much damage, and DauT's still definitely in the driver's seat. Stronger population, both for economy and for military. but he needs to seal the deal. He's got plate bar than armor. What is going to be enough for DauT to take this game eventually? The Viper, so far, has been able to keep up really well. The gap between both these guys is reducing further and further as well. Here we are. Camels are coming up now that he's got heavy camel. These are significantly stronger too. Beautiful. And this castle, you know, from the Viper, very well end up going down if DauT keeps the trebuchet up long enough. A lot of pikemen for the Viper to defend himself. Another castle coming up on the right hand side. Beautiful quick wall for the Viper down the south over here, preventing foundation from being denied. And DauT, he's going for Cavalier right now, switching gears. Cavalier I like a lot better. It's going to be a much better unit to raid with. I think I was probably expecting the Viper to be going for a lot more cavalry himself, so that's why he opened with camels, right? He needs something against the pikemen though. Cavalier, as good as it is to raid, will still die to the pikemen, so he needs something else. Persians, with Commanderant, they get gold-free crossbows, which against trash infantry is still going to be strong enough. Potentially just go for skirmishes if you want to as well. That's no stranger to that, although I would prefer the crossbows. And then he's got several options himself. He can go for his own trash, right? He can go for Halberdier. He's not going for it. He's going to be full-on Cavalier and camels over here against pikemen. The Viper seems like he's bound to take a very cost-effective trade not too long from now. And DauT's struggling. Okay, there we go. This is what I wanted to see. Commanderant is on the way for DauT. And where are the archer ranges? He's going for more on the back. He's got 3 more on the way over here. He already had 1 forward. The Halberdier coming up from the Viper. Looking extremely strong in these camels. Might end up cleaning up the Halberdier, but it doesn't matter. The Viper was on a mission here, and the mission was to take the trebuchet down. Now, he's able to keep the castle up. And it doesn't matter if he lost all the Halberdier over here. All he wanted was to keep his own castle up and keep his defenses. You know, DauT's trying to go for a second castle on the right hand side. Doesn't seem like Viper will be able to do too much about this. And at this point in time, the red players on true trebuchets. You know, DauT's not going for any trebuchet so far. So it seems as if the Viper should be still in a much better position in terms of sieging. He's got some like cavalry on the way. Halberdier on the way. Commanderant, we are officially back in 2015. Wait, isn't Commanderant a much newer technology than that? Didn't we have boiling oils before? For versions? Oh no. What am I thinking of? I think I'm thinking of something else. Viper has no resources. Yes. 0 gold, 0 stone. He did manage to get some relics, but for the most part, he's been relying on trash. If he's able to hold on over here, he still has some siege to work with. There we go. This gas is going down from DauT by the looks of it. Blue player is still unable to find a good answer to Viper's defenses. Just full on Halberdier, and what does DauT do? Well, the crossbow move, I liked it, but he doesn't really have too many units right now. The production potential is not too high. He was missing some upgrades, so now he's going for thumb ring, chemistry as well. Does not get bracer, of course. For chemistry already, that's going to be +3. In any case, so these scores are still pretty strong. As any of them scatter the gold in the siege workshop, in the one in the southwest, and the one on the west corner. Let's take a look. Well, DauT hasn't. He's running out of gold himself very soon, and the Viper hasn't either. Commander is a VE tech. I thought so, yes. I remember it was included in one of the patch notes. It's replacing boiling oils, right? Here we are. Finally, we have a big engagement taking place. DauT ends out losing a trebuchet over here. Seems like he's going to end up losing another trebuchet over there. Meanwhile, the castle still crumbles, though. To the Cavalier. And the Viper once again gets away with a cost-effective trade over here, getting trebuchets down for trash units, but that is not going to put a stop to DauT's push. Double player's got bombard cannons coming, has got 33 gold miners. Not a thing to worry about in the world. DauT still looking very strong on 200 population against the Viper, who's struggling, despite the fact that he's been going for just trash units to get past 150 population or so. Now all we need for the blue players to get some momentum. And it seems like it's not even going to be that necessary, as he doesn't need to destroy Viper's defenses before the red player realizes the position he finds himself in and calls it GG. So with the Viper going down to DauT in game number 2, we get a 1-1 series, and this could have been over so much sooner. Let me go back, actually. There is a highlight moment in this series, or in this game rather. Very early on, as a matter of fact. About 7 minutes into it, I think. Actually, a little bit earlier than this. Absolutely crucial. Right here. Take a look at that. That was so freaking close. For anybody who might have lost, who might have missed this part. After the douche from DauT, manages to garrison some villagers in still. Tries to go after the TC, and the Viper was trying to repair for dear life over here. He barely had enough resources, and he just got to the fuel H. The same second he ended up losing the TC over there. If the Viper hadn't gotten the fuel H over there, I think this game was over. 5 minutes into the game, 6 minutes into the game. But in the end, of course, we know we have a much longer game over there. A Viper, being the stubborn snake he is, was able to survive much longer. And for a moment over there, kind of give DauT a run for his money, or at the very least was making it very difficult for DauT to seal the deal. What do we get in the end then? There we are. We have a stronger KD for DauT, approaching about 3-2. For economy, a stronger economy for DauT by quite a lot, about 8,000 extra resources or so. And yeah, that's about it. Stronger villager count for DauT as well. The Viper was getting close to it a few times. And the higher APM for the Viper for sure, but DauT will didn't need much extra speed than what he had for this game. Let's go back. Predictions are on for game number 3. As to who's going to get the lead in the series over here after an incredible first couple of games. We'll see DauT playing towards the south with Japanese and the Viper up in the north with Vikings. So we have the Nordic player over here with the Nordic civilization. And what does it mean for the Viper? Well, first off, Vikings will provide a discount in ship production. They get 10, 15, and actually 15, 20, and 20% cheaper Navy units in the Field Castle and Imperial Ages, the Vikings that is. As well as 20% extra HP on infantry units started in the Field Age. Free wheelbarrow and free handcar will also be available for the Vikings, which is a great eco bonus. While DauT instead, playing with Japanese, will instead have faster working fishing ships. From 5 all the way up to 20% depending on the age, and increments of 5% per age. With twice the HP and plus 2 Pierce armor too. And then in addition to that, we have 33% faster attacking infantry starting in the Fuel Age. As well as a 50% discount on drop of buildings. And for the team bonus, Japanese will have twice the line of sight on galley line ships. Viper's team bonus, by the way, which I hadn't mentioned before, was twice the HP on docks. York was the Viking capital of England. Dublin was Viking capital of Ireland. I remember some of this you're talking about from the Vikings TV series. Now, I do realize that is not historically accurate, because I think many of the events you're talking about, which took place over a century apart from each other, took place during the same series over here. So I imagine a lot of artistic liberties were taken over there. But it was pretty entertaining anyway. To finish the topic, the same does apply to a certain amount of a certain people centuries before the start of the Viking Age of the Gods. Yes, that makes sense. Vikings are like God's second team. Let's take a look at the map generation for both these players. Taking a look at DauT first off. We'll see that for the blue player, we have one goal in the back, which is good. It's got a goal over here too far away from the water for the Viper to potentially push villagers away from it. We have a stone in a similar position over here. So in the end, if DauT ends up losing water control, he will still have access to the minerals over here. But of course, it would only be something that he can still pursue after he goes for the center. If he loses water control without getting out of his base, getting out of his starting island, then that's pretty much game over anyway. If we take a look at the Viper's map generation on the other hand, we'll see that the red player, he's got a goal on the back, pretty similar to what we saw from DauT, a goal forward, very close to the TC and kind of far away from the water. But the stone is not in the best location over here because it could very well get ranged from water. It's very close, and it doesn't even need to be galleon, just with war galleys over here. And honestly, with standard galleys and fletching, I think you might be able to push some villagers away from this. So there aren't quite as many resources available. Now, whether the Viper will rely on the stone to potentially take this game doesn't seem very likely to me, but that just goes to show that DauT's got more resources available safely on land over here compared to the Viper. And the villages here are the exact same time for both these guys. Exact same time. 3 talks already out for DauT, the Viper. He's on 3 talks himself. Nobody going for a transport ship though, just full on galley production from both these guys. Remember, DauT gets a discount on drop of buildings, so that's going to be 150 already that he's been able to save. And there's a mill over here. That's going to be 200 resources he's been able to save just by going for these buildings. Meanwhile, the Viper will get a 15% discount on Navy units, which is just a fixed saving, right? So the longer the game goes, the more units they go for. Eventually, the Viper is going to start capitalizing on extra savings that will go beyond DauT's civilization savings. Now, that's a beautiful mining camp, by the way. Both players going around the right-hand side. We see the Viper send the one galley over the left-hand side, though. But we know that the players are in opposite corners. So no matter where they go, they will have a comparable distance to go. We back? Yes! Welcome back. Fletch is on the way now for the Viper as well, and DauT doesn't have fletching, but he's got the blacksmith on the way. So he's got fletching coming up right now. So far, 6 galleys for DauT, 5 galleys for the Viper. Let's check. Should we go in favor of DauT for sure, as the Viper's got the units kind of split apart. On the right hand side 2, on the left hand side 1. And DauT should be able to defend over here just fine. He's going to realize about this a little bit too late, but it shouldn't be late enough that he's going to lose efficiency. Remember, twice the HP over here. It's going to take 12 shots from the galley to take the fishing ship down. So guess what? DauT brings his own galley out and pushes the Viper away. Well done. How many games are there today? We have 4 series. This is the 3rd one already. So at most, from this point onwards, and this count in this game, we are going to have 7 more games. The 4th and 5th ones from this series, plus up to 5 games from the 4th series of the day. Now, we are already more than 6 hours into the stream, and we know that because of the current score, we have a 4-game series guaranteed over here, very much so. So, I would say we're probably going to get to about 7 hours before we are done with the 3rd series of the day. And at the very least, probably it's going to be even more than that. And then it's probably going to be, I would say, at the very least 2 more hours for the 4th series of the day. So we are looking at a 9-hour stream, I would say. Most likely. Who's the next 2 playing? Hera versus Tato. A potential get back series over there for the Canadian. Cassage is coming out for both these guys. TheViper did manage to click up a little bit earlier. Remember, he does get free wheelbarrow as well, so his economy is a little bit stronger, starting from the fuel age. Once he gets to the castle age, that's going to be free handguard, which is even stronger. And if we take a look at their economy time so far for these guys, it's been better for the Viper, despite the fact that DauT gets faster working fishing ships. The Viper actually went for more fishing ships himself compared to DauT, and with handguard or wheelbarrow and very soon handguard as well, that's going to be very, very hard for DauT to compete against in terms of economy. If he fails to get full water control over here and take advantage of the faster working fishing ships, then that's very unfortunate for DauT, because the Viper's going to get a very strong lead from that point onwards. Guess it's here for the Viper. Yes, sir. And DauT still 40 seconds away from it. The Viper's got Viking arrow coming up, and he's not even going for the war galley upgrade. He's got 8 galleys, sorry, out, but he's just going to make a full switch to longboats. This is very straightforward to get into because you do not need any upgrades. The longboats are already available as soon as you get to the castle age, compared to before where you needed to get a castle up. But DauT's got about 11 galleys over here. He's going for the war galley upgrade, Viking arrow. And I'm liking galleys better for DauT, but if the Viper realizes DauT is going for just more galleys as opposed to making a play for fire galleys, he could potentially go for his own war galleys, and it's always going to be more cost effective. 20% cheaper for Vikings. So it's a pretty awkward spot for DauT over here. Scanning the transport ship out. He's transport the villagers over to the center. The Viper's no stranger to the center islands himself, as he's got one villager over there going for a monastery already, and the scout out. And it seems like he's going to run straight into DauT. Close. It's going back. That was so close. And now DauT's probably going to run straight into the Viper, right? He's got a DC coming up in between the gold and the wood. That's a beautiful location. DauT knows about the Viper now. He knows about the monastery. Right hand side. War galleys versus longboats over here. I am liking the war galleys, not gonna lie. So the Viper, if he does not make a transition to war galleys himself, is probably going to struggle over here. He does still have a stronger economy because of wheelbarrow and handcar, right? But this is not great. Yeah, the longboats are getting completely wiped out. Meanwhile, up in the north. Oh, the Viper! How is the outfit? That is why he isn't able to pay attention. That is why he was losing the longboats over here, because he was paying attention up in the north. He almost lost a villager and managed to get the quick pulls up just in time. Well done. If you are facing war galleys as the Vikings, you are usually better off going for war galleys yourself. Longboats over here usually are going to be utilized against fire line units. Yeah, and no loom for the Viper as well, go figure. Damn, hadn't realized that. Well, the Viper hasn't gone for a TC yet, right? So that is in a good spot. What was your prediction for the series? I didn't actually predict for the series. But if I had to predict, I would have said the Viper 3-1 against DauT. Either 3-1 or 3-0. And then the third most likely scenario, in my opinion, would have been 3-2. In favor of the Viper still. I feel like he's got the strength over here to take the series basically no matter what, but I'm hoping to be wrong. I definitely do not want to see a clean sweep over here, and we won't. We already saw DauT take game number 2, right? But so long as DauT plays his cards right over here, there's always a chance of an upset. Yeah, and the numbers are coming up as well. So war galleys from DauT are looking pretty strong. The Viper doesn't have quite as many longboats himself. That's looking stronger for economy though. The second TC is already starting to pull ahead. And the Viper's trying to go for more longboats so far. He's managed to get more compared to DauT. It's just that not all of these are forward. He's got some on the left hand side. Seems like he's gonna try and go for a little bit of a DauT subway. He's gonna try and pinch the bull player, sandwich him, as he would say. But he's gotta be careful. Not all of the units are in front. Not all the units are forward. He needs to group these up. And he's going on the left hand side. He's going to take the fishing ships down. Beautiful. 2 shots. 3 shots to fishing ships. Almost 2 shots. Needs 1 more for that. And now he's going after DauT. DauT is about to get surrounded. The Viper is coming forward right now on the right hand side, left hand side as well. And here comes the engagement. The Viper's gotta be careful. He is dangerously close to DauT's docks over there. So there is always the risk of a potential demo coming out as well. But in the end, DauT's not going to do any of that. Just more war galleys coming out. It's conversions from the Viper at the center. As we see the players switch focus, there is too much for them to pay attention to. And down the south, DauT's realized about the wood line over here not too long after being targeted. Ended up losing about 2 villagers, still finds himself about 3 villages ahead. 2 villages ahead compared to the Viper. And at the center, still seems like the Viper ends up getting the better end of the deal over there with the conversions. This is not good though. This is not good. Viper's getting cleaned up. DauT. Well, he doesn't really have ballistics though, so you cannot really punish the Viper when he bails. And because he's pushing the left hand side, now the Viper could try and make a play for the right hand side. Why is he not sending the longboats? He should be able to take these down. Gotta love the one galley hanging out with his longboat spot. Yeah, well, that's no longer the case. It's just survival of the fittest, and the galley was no good. Everybody else outpaced them. He wanted to be paused with the longboats, but couldn't really keep up. Yeah, and DauT, you know, he's doing a really good job defending here. I would have expected the Viper to already have gotten full water control over here, but he's been unable to. Given the military units, right? 22 versus 17, 16. Left hand side, good unit control for the Viper. DauT's gotta bail from here, this is not good. And because the Viper does have ballistic, although now DauT's finally gotten ballistics himself, the Viper should be able to punish DauT, right? When he tries to bail, he will. The Viper's been fishing, yes. DauT never really went for too many fishing ships. Despite the civilization he's gotten over here, or he's chosen, he only got up to about 5 fishing ships, while from the get-go, the Viper was ahead already on 7 fishing ships, and now he's up to 10. Nice castle from the Viper, and DauT. He's got the resources, doesn't really have the map control though to go for a castle himself, but let's take a look at this. DauT was trying to go and deny the castle, couldn't do it. He's pushed away from here, and he's gonna go for the castle behind this TC as he's getting pushed away in front of the second TC that he has at the center already. So the game is definitely not over. Even if the Viper is looking much stronger over here, DauT at the very least was able to get extra TCs at the center. If the bull player deletes the TC over here, stops going for extra villages from this one because he won't be able to get the villages out of the island anymore, and just focuses over at the center, he should still be able to keep up. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be easy, but I think it's going to give him the best chance. It's going for water right now against Vikings seems borderline suicidal, and DauT that is going for it, unfortunately though, and that's not something I can say I agree with. See if you can get the Mongol down over there. Little bit of a struggle. Nice Mongol shot from DauT. The sneaky Mongol coming out of the siege workshop just in time. Yeah, and you know, the Viper. Man, the Viper's going up to the Imperial age. This Viking economy is just so sick. 9 fishing ships left for the Viper. Not really sure why he lost one. He was on 10, and I don't think DauT was putting any pressure. So I'm not really sure about that. I think maybe he had sent one forward on accident. So 9 fishing ships for the Viper. He's ahead by 3 workers right now. And because of wheelbarrow, because of handcart, the economy from the Viper is so much stronger. And if we take a look at gather economy time so far, he's got a lead over that of about 15 minutes. Not a lot, but enough for him to go up to the Imperial earlier, especially with a much more cost-effective trades he's been getting so far. A much better KD for the Viper. Extra castles coming up for DauT. I'm really sure if he's aware of the fact that the Viper's going out to the Imperial H. I think we're gonna switch the scoreboard over here, so bear with me. We're going to have the Viper on the right now because we're going to basically just switch over to the center island. Viper on the right hand side, DauT on the left hand side. But yeah, I'm not really sure if DauT's aware the Viper's going out to the Imperial H, right? But this castle doesn't seem like it's going to stay out for too long. The Viper's got a second castle coming up, so that means once he gets to the Imperial H, double cherry ship production. I choose to believe that the fishing ship got eaten by a kraken. Who released the kraken? Who let the kraken out? I don't know what the kraken does for sound, so just use your imagination, fill in the blanks. Yeah, uphill castle's going to be good, but once the Viper starts bumping trails over here with double castle production, he should still be able to take this one down pretty quickly. If he goes for 4 trebuchets, that's still going to do more damage than 2 trebuchets on even ground, so should be pretty good for the Viper, right? And DauT that won't get to the Imperial H on time to defend the castle too much. They're doing DauT things with the with the market. Nice defense for the Viper. Just a few samurai from DauT. Not really doing too much at the Viper. He's got the first 2 trebuchets coming up. He doesn't really have a goal to go for any extra trebs after this. So it's just going to be 2. And I don't think... Does he know? He should know. Yeah, he's being targeted. Wow. Wow, DauT goes on to call the GG over here before he even starts getting sieged. He knows. The Vipers ahead in this one. It's going to be 2-1. Favoring the Viking player, both. The player with the Viking civilization and the Viking player with the Viking civilization. As the Norwegian over here gets the lead in the series. Taking a look at the achievements, we'll see for military a better KD for the Viper. Very close to 3-2. Stronger economy as well with about 2,000 extra resources. And for society, a higher villager max count for the Viper as well. And there we are. What do we get for what could be the very last game of the series over here with Viper playing up in the north with Mongols? It's gonna have a beautiful civilization for this map. Meanwhile, down the south, DauT, he's playing with Poles. He's gonna have a pretty interesting choice over here, and we'll take a look at what exactly Poles entail on a map like this. But starting with DauT civilization first, I guess we're gonna go in order of color here. The blue player will get HP regeneration on villagers. We're gonna have for Poles also more efficient stone miners, as for each unit of stone that they mine, they also collect 0.5 units of gold. In addition to that, Poles get access to fall work, which he's already going for. That's already going to take advantage of over here. And all of these bonuses make the Pole a very strong civilization for potential trashes. HP regenerates, so you do not need to keep on sending too many fresh villagers forward. And on this map, a trash could be extremely effective because you really want to prevent the Viper from taking advantage of the hunted uncontested. Why? Because Viper civilization gets 40% faster working hunters. There's about 4 minutes left, guys, for your predictions for game number 4. Option 1, DauT. Option 2, the Viper. You can use your channel points to predict who you think is going to win this one. And If the Viper takes it, this is going to be already the final game of the series, right? And he knocks DauT down to the decider. While if DauT takes this one, we get a full set. Yes, sir! Fantastic. So far, DauT seems to be just focusing on going for full hunting over here, which is not... It's not really what I was kind of hoping DauT to go for. I was really expecting him to try and put some pressure with the towers, because if he doesn't, the Viper, simply put, he gets significantly ahead by getting the faster working hunters over here. It's going to be running out of deers so much sooner. Take a look at that. This deer is already less than half. This deer over here, DauT's falling behind a little bit. And the Viper, wow, he's just going to get so much extra. Already almost a 7-hour stream? Yeah. And unless this one is a pretty quick one and goes in favor of the Viper, we are looking at a 9+ hour stream for sure. With the final series between Tato and Hera taking place after this one, it's gonna be a pretty good time for Hera. It's only 5:45 p.m. in Argentina. And I think Hera's still in Argentina, right? While for Tato, on the other hand, Tato's going to get a little bit later. It shouldn't be too bad, though. Like, if we started in about 13 minutes, it's not going to happen, but if we start in about 13 minutes, that'll be like 10 p.m. for Tato? 9? 10 p.m.? I think 10 p.m., right? I think it's CET. What is Spain's time zone? I think it is. I think it'll be 10 p.m. Village here, ready for the Viper. CET, thank you, Red Leafy. Predictions still have about 1 minute and 20 seconds left. By the time you hear this, it's going to be a little bit less than that. About 1 minute left by the time you hear this. So get your predictions going. You can play the odds over here. Only 500 points going in for DauT so far. Close to 30,000 points for the Viper. If you just go for 500 points yourself and the Viper loses, that's going to give you a lot of extra points. There we go. That's more like it. Nice. At this point in time, DauT's going after the fuel H. The Viper already got there. And he's got archers coming out, interestingly enough. No scouts, despite the fact that food is quite abundant on this map. He's going to choose to go for archers instead. And he's got gold miners. He's got lumberjacks. Going to be fine. And DauT, on the other hand, is going to be in the fuel H in a moment. But it seems like he's taking such a long time to get the walls up over here. The Viper is going to try to prevent this. I just built the house on the Viper. I see. He's gonna try to prevent this, and DauT's trying to go for the walls over here. The Viper's not going to let him, though. This is open still. And the Viper's coming in with archers in a moment. He's really trying to keep the walls up until he gets, at the very least, a few extra units over here. So he's got the second archer coming up, and the unit control from the Viper is disgusting. It's filthy good. DauT spent a lot of resources trying to get the walls up, and in the end he's going to get away with it, but at the cost of a villager, so it's not exactly for free. Here we are. Viper gets kind of denied. Yes. And now DauT's gonna try and make a play for the castle age. He's got almost enough gold. He's collecting gold from the stone. He's got a good amount of food. He's got a full work coming up. Wait. Is this open? No way. DauT! Oh, DauT, come on, man. Such a huge struggle just to try and close the walls, and he leaves the tail end open. And the Viper's coming in. He's got 4 archers, and my lord, this is just tragic. This is the history of DauT. When has it not been tragic for DauT? When hasn't a little mistake cost him so much? Forced to go into a tower over here so that he can keep on collecting from the berries and the Viper. The Viper's just gonna keep on roaming around, of course. Have civilization ever been removed from the game? As our base says, technically Indians, they got removed as a single civilization. They got split into 4 sub-civilizations, if you can call it that, with Hindustanis, Gurjaras, Dravidians, and Bengalis. Some people say we could give the same treatment to several other civilizations. Chinese is one of the first civilizations to come to mind for an Indian treatment for a future DLC. However, I wouldn't be so sure about that one because it's one of the OG civilizations. It'll be kind of awkward to remove it after having been in the game from the very beginning, as opposed to Indians who were just introduced as part of the Forgotten. So I'm not really sure. What else would you expect to see? Probably split into several different civilizations from the ones that we currently have still. Slavs maybe? Although we already have some of that, right? Some overlap. Regardless though, man, these yurts are not particularly strong. 2 yurts going down to freaking archers. That's gotta be 0 armor, I think. Italians, Slavs, Vikings. Alright, alright. Yeah, and the Viper's looking strong. So far, to be fair, he's not really managed to get a hit too much. You take a look at the adult TC time, and this allowed DauT to keep up with villager count over here, despite the fact that the Viper was the only player getting villagers down. So both players on dead even villager count. So both players will be on their way to the castle in a moment. And wow! That is not too bad from DauT whatsoever. Only about 6 seconds behind compared to the Viper. When going up to the castle age. And he's collecting stone quite heavily, so once he gets to the castle, he might have enough. With 8 stone miners to go for a castle. If he plays the scars right, starts collecting some gold sometime soon as well. Could make a play potentially for Schlachter privileges as well, although it's going to be pretty difficult given that Mongols, they do get access to camels. But we'll see what we get in the end. What would you like to see from Italians, by the way? What would you like to see them split into? Would you be able to split the civilization into more than 3 sub-civs? Rome and Sicily. So we already have Sicilians, right? Rome. Yeah. The Romans would be interesting. I guess we have Romans for Age of Empires 4. I think there is an overlap in the time period that both games cover, right? Venetians, Genoese. Oh, that sounds great. That sounds great, actually. Yeah, split into 3 civilizations. Anyway, Castle is here for both these guys. Second TC on the way for DauT. With Poles, he wants to play for economy. Poles will benefit from that. We have a third TC on the way for DauT as well. And then the Viper, of course. With Mongols, he will also want to play for economy over here as the Mongols get stronger later on in the game. But they do need a very strong economy to fuel their late game. Lombards. Right. Would Rome fit into this model of Venetians, Genoese, and Lombards, or do they overlap too? Can't really hear the keyboard of people watching on YouTube going on about how illiterate I am with regards to history, but you gotta ask, right? That's how you learn. Anyway, well, it's one way to do so. It's the only way that I can do right now while streaming. Regardless though, Boso's here for DauT. He's just going for economy. He's got heavy plow. The Viper, he's gone for Boso already. He doesn't really have heavy plow. The villager count, pretty even for both these guys. The Viper, still a heavy military count, although for the most part he's got just few H units, so it doesn't really matter too much. For castle on the way for DauT though. We knew he was gonna go for the castle eventually. He was collecting stone quite heavily. Wasn't really sure where the castle was coming up, but this is a huge one. This castle pushes the Viper away from the left-hand side. Unfortunately for DauT though, this castle actually doesn't really range TC. It's not even close. So he will only end up pushing the blue player away from here. And yeah, that's about it. It's not really doing too much. I guess it's not as good as I thought it was going to be at the very beginning. If he had gone for the castle a little bit further forward, I guess probably a castle position around here would have been good. It would have been able to target both the TCs over there, while also still pushing the villagers away from this, and potentially even pushing villagers away from stone from the Viper. But this got still 9 stone miners, so we'll soon see another castle come out for DauT, and he could potentially go for a better location over there. Nice, some Obuk coming out from DauT. Unlikely he'll be able to do too much damage. So far, the Viper has been able to start pulling ahead, pulling a villager lead. About 6 extra villagers, 8 extra villagers against DauT, and still missing heavy plow, so I guess DauT's economy is still going to be a little bit stronger in that regard, especially with the fall work over here. DauT keeps on getting extra resources for free. The Viper's getting the first castle up, so we're gonna see some Mongol come out. Meanwhile, DauT, he's getting very close to having enough resources to go for a second castle. He's got only 6 stone miners though, so it's gonna take probably about 2 minutes before he gets enough. Actually, more like 2 minutes and a half or so. And the Viper's not even taking too many villagers off work to get the castle up. He's not even rushing it. He feels comfortable. The Viper's going for wheelbarrow as well. This castle, man, I just can't shake it off. If it had been a little bit further forward, it would have targeted both the TCs, the farmers, the stone miners. I guess DauT was respecting the Viper's potential for a counter castle himself, so he didn't want to overstep his, you know, limits. He's gonna have a chance to redeem himself very soon to go for a second castle. And where can he go for the castle? There are a few locations he could potentially go for. There is the chance that he goes for a castle very close to where he got the first one, in a little bit of a better position over here once again, kind of similar to what we were suggesting earlier. But it's not the only viable location. He could potentially go for the castle on the right hand side. Now, the unfortunate side of this is that because of the monastery, he can only place it in such a way that he will be able to target a single TC from the Viper. And this one would still be too far from the castle for DauT to actually target that one. Alternatively, he can go for the defensive castle instead, and he's going for a monastery. He's going for a stable. Wheelbarrow is about to finish researching for DauT as well, which is great. He'll be able to catch up now as the Viper's got he's got heavy plow as well. We see the same eco upgrades for both these players. Yeah, it's gonna be more of a defensive one for DauT. But so will be for the Viper. He's got a second castle coming up on the right hand side. Imperial should be on the way very soon for DauT. Take a look at the resources. The Viper, if he uses the market and sells all the stone, might be able to rush the Imperial HL a little bit, or might be able to get it a little bit sooner. Meanwhile, DauT's got already the food. He's got almost enough gold, only missing about 300 if he sells some of the stone. If he sells some of the wood over there, that's going to reduce what he's missing right now. If he sells some of the food as well, he's going to reduce that a little bit as well. And this castle, well, the castle's coming out. The Viper so far isn't able to get the villagers down. And Imperial is on the way for DauT, while the Viper, if he's paying attention to the score, he should realize what's coming up from DauT, and he's not really using the market himself. He's not going up to the Imperial just yet, so this should be really good. What do we get then for each player? The Viper is gonna start going for Mongol. In DauT, he needs to wait until he gets to the Imperial Age to start going for trebuchets. Once he gets there, he'll be able to trade the castles down. However, the Viper, if he gets a good amount of Mongol, even with Castle Age Mongol, he should still be able to take trebuchets down with a bonus damage that Mongol do against siege weapons. So, DauT needs something to defend the siege with. And what will he go for? He's got Bloodline, Scale, Barded Armor, Husbandry, and Lock the Privileges! Bum bum bum! DauT is putting himself in a beautiful spot over here. Once he gets to the Imperial Age, if he gets a good enough food economy to actually spam these units with, might be able to swarm the Viper and keep him away from the trebuchets. Give the trebuchets up and take the castles from the Viper down. The Viper, you can see that he's not going to the Imperial Age anytime soon. His economy is not the most balanced that I have seen to speak of. Ballistics common name for the Viper. About 16 Mangudai. You know how long it takes for DauT to get 16 knights? Not a long time. He's got a lot of tables over here, and he's got a very strong economy, so he's going for it, and very soon he's gonna go for the Cavalier upgrade as well as Plate Barded Armor. So the Viper will most likely end up getting pushed away from here. We already have Chain Barded Armor for DauT. +2/+2 defense are fantastic. Needs to go for some attack over here as well. And the Viper's gonna try to come in. Is DauT waiting for the Viper to come in before trying to flank the units and trap these? It'll be kind of risky, but it seems like he's going for it. He's going for it! The Viper comes in and DauT goes forward. He's ignoring the Mangudai and going straight for the push. Not trying to pinch this army whatsoever. And let's see if he can get any damage done over here. We have a second group of Mangudai from the Viper and DauT's got the second trebuchet on the way. While the Viper finally was able to click out to the Imperial. It's still about 2 minutes away from it though. Meanwhile, DauT's already there. It's 30 seconds away from the Cavalier upgrade. He cannot get Plate Barded Armor. That was my bad. I said earlier he should be going for Cavalier and Plate Barded Armor. Poles do not get the +3/+4. Instead, he just needs to go for Cavalier, and that's going to boost the HP of the units anyway, which will kind of compensate for lack of armor in a sense. Against Castle Age units for sure. One conversion goes there in favor of the Viper, but DauT that already has the trebuchets unpacked. Let's keep on sending more units though. He sneaks in on the left hand side. We'll get some villages down over here, but he needs something to defend the trebuchets with. This is what I was talking about from the very beginning. He needs a good amount of knights or Cavalier to defend the trebuchets. This is the priority. He needs to take down the castles. The Viper is banking on Mangudai. Losing villagers on the left hand side doesn't do anything for DauT, or actually taking villagers on the left hand side doesn't do anything for DauT. He needs to take the castles down and prevent the Viper from getting to a critical mass. Because DauT ended up prioritizing 3 villager kills on the left. And the trebuchets were exposed. They went down. The Viper still has 4 castles to work with. He gets to the Imperial Age. And he's getting to close to 40 Mangudai. How do you stop 40 fully upgraded elite Mangudai? You just don't. So it's very unfortunate for DauT over here, and decision making has not been on his side in my opinion. That's another trebuchet going down, and most likely another one as well, and that's basically the end of DauT's push against the castles. I honestly feel like DauT has kind of let this one go by not protecting the trebuchet. To be honest though, even if he had the Cavalier over there, I think Viper had enough Mangudai to potentially just dive in and snipe the trebuchets and just endure a few losses anyway. Like if he brought 20 Mangudai over and then he lost like 5-6 to the Cavalier but still was able to get both trebuchets down, that would still have been worth it for the Viper, but definitely was something that DauT needed to go for as opposed to going for the race around, because yeah, the Viper is banking on the Mangudai. And he's getting all the upgrades now. He's gotten plus or over 40 Mangudai, right? He's got Conscription, Bracer coming up. He already has Chemistry. I think he's gotten Path and Tactics already. Yeah. So once we get Leather Arch Armor, these are going to be fully upgraded. I think everything else he already has. Beautiful. Fifth castle on the way. Sixth castle on the way for the Viper even. My lord. In doubt? He's on the back foot over here. Never disregard the Shlachta privileges. Night spam, right? But in all honesty, the Viper, given the amount of Mongol that he's got, we are talking about fully upgraded elite Mongol over here, isn't really going to struggle against this. I have mentioned this before, but I have seen Mongol in a variety of situations. I have seen full armies of Mongol. We are talking about 60 Mongol over here. Gets surrounded by 60 Persian paladins with 2 bonus damage against archer type units, and the Mongol come out on top. I have seen them get surrounded by full armies of Frank paladins, and the Mongol come out on top. And we are getting close to that. The Viper's already on 50, so only 10 more, and this is going to be basically unstoppable. That needs more stables? Yes. And he needs one more reason to keep on going. He cannot find it, so he calls it GG. And the Viper gets a final score of 3-1 against DauT in game number 4 over here to move on to the quarterfinals of Warlords. While DauT gets knocked down to the Decider series. Well done, the Viper. Looking strong. Better than 5 to 2 KD ratio for an economy. That's stronger for the Viper as well. He was able to take advantage of it too. Stronger worker count towards the end of the game, and throughout the game actually for the Viper, he was able to get a very nice villager lead, especially for the second half of the game, so well done. APM favors the Viper by quite a bit. It's not quite as high as twice as high as DauT, but still going to be so much stronger, so well done. Viper 3, DauT 1. Let's go back.